I think just you guys are going to be keep filing in, keep filling the spaces. Everybody, I'm yeah. Okay, good evening. Welcome everyone. How are we all doing? That good? How are we doing? That's better. I'm going to try and not move too much because we're online as well, and Nick keeps telling me I shouldn't move too much. Right, welcome to this evening. It is Getting to Tech, Digital and IT. 3 brands, PwC, Accenture, Deutsche Bank, in that order. But to give you the proper introduction and welcome, I'm going to introduce our founder and CEO, Chris. So Chris, come up.
Hi everybody. Yeah, look, really excited about tonight. I'm Chris McNamara, founded this company 7 years ago. Anyone here want to be an entrepreneur? Maybe come and see me afterwards. You know, I'll tell you not to do it. No, I'm joking. Definitely do it. But today it's all about technology, jobs of the future. What I really want you to get out of today We're going to be doing like some exciting panels and asking questions. You can ask questions. Me and Izzy are going to be asking them on your behalf. But I really want to get out today real top tips for you to know whether you want to go to uni, do an apprenticeship, how to get work experience, how to get your foot in the door. If you do go to university, how you get internships, etc., all that type of stuff. But if you do want to go down the apprenticeship route and you want to get your foot in the door nice and early, all my team are there to support you after today. So we'll be able to contact you, follow up with you, and help you into companies that you want to work with. By the way, at Pathway CTM, we work with about 60 different big blue chip companies, like the NHS, loads of different brands as well. But today we're focused on tech and some of the best tech employers out there, and we want to hear from them. So that's what it's all about today. But you've got Max, you've got Izzy, who'll be looking after you as well today. Enjoy the session, ask loads of questions. And my challenge for you is I do want to have a few questions from the audience today. So obviously online, you guys can do that with the chat box and Slido, but you guys actually want to hand over the mic to a few people today. So put your hand up if you want to ask a question and we'll give you the mic. All right, make it fun that way. But enjoy today's session, and most importantly, well done for turning up, because it's 5:30 and most people are out doing Xbox or PlayStation or eating dinner. You're here looking after your futures. So straight away, you're winners, and we want to support winners and we want to help you. So well done, okay?
Right, thank you very much. So you've got Chris, you've got myself, and you've got Izzy. So I look after student success and events at Pathway CTM. A lot of you would have seen me on events already and look after the student success side, which is after you walk away from an event today, you've heard from PwC, you've heard from Accenture and Deutsche Bank, and you think, okay, I like a bit of that. I want to apply, or I want to take it further or find out more information. That's where you come to me and my team, and we help you with your applications, with your interview preparations, and to understand what steps you can take next and how to get you into those brands. But with us tonight as well, we've got Izzy. So Izzy, you want to give us an introduction? Welcome to the stage.
I'm Izzy. I'm a senior account manager here at Pathway CTM in the employer team. I actually did an apprenticeship myself at Unilever. I was there for 2.5 years. So I've been exactly in your position. I've done it. And now I'm here to help all of you. So if you've got any questions about, what to do next after school, I work with all of the employers and I've got a bit of experience myself, so happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Izzy. So tonight, how do we communicate? We've been asking you to connect to Slido. As you can see on the big screen there, there's a QR code, there's a Slido, and the hashtag is get into. So rather than a number code, it's a get into is the code. And through that, you can put questions onto the Slido, and we'll go through them when we get to the Q&A panel. Okay. Also, when we get to the Q&A panel, you can raise your hand. I'm going to be running around with a microphone, bringing it to you so we can hear you. So do think about questions that you want to ask. Now, the running order, we are bang on time, German clockwork. We've got the introduction. We're going to do a quick poll. I'm going to take you through some survey results because we asked you questions and we're going to go through those results. And we're going to do a poll as well because we want to get information from you. But to get on the poll, you need to be on Slido, okay? Hashtag get into. Then we're going to hear from PwC first. Then we hear from Accenture, then Deutsche Bank, okay? And once we've done that, we go to the Q&A. As you listen to the brand speak and you're like, I've got a question for them, put it in the Slido. Put it there because we'll be looking at them. And if you've seen a question that's already been asked there that you like, give it a thumbs up so it becomes more popular so we know that that's a question that people want to have answered. Then afterwards, at the end, we're going to go through another quiz. So technologically, we're going to slip over to the other Slido, and we're going to be giving away a prize in that quiz. So there's a pair of Sony wireless headphones to give away to the winner. And it's about being knowledgeable and quick. And then we're going to finish with networking. And that's going to be back in the other side. So I want everybody to make sure that they can get into Slido. It's hashtag get into. You should have already been joined already, but I can still see loads of mobile phones coming out. We go on to the next bit. Hopefully this should work by the power of technology. Question is, what year group are you in? So you want me to join. Start getting some answers in. If you still haven't joined, QR code is on the side. You can see it. I'm going to move out of the way, starting for these guys. So what year group are you in? It's pretty obvious what they are. 9, 13, 11, 12. Are you a parent? Have you left school? What are you? Online as well, you should be doing this too. So anybody that's online, the Slido is on there, the information is on there. You can join as well. Make sure you've got Slido up if you're online as well, because you're going to be part of the quiz later. But what year group are you in? I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Yeah. Oh, put it on the slide. Gonna give it a few more seconds, and we're almost done. Then we'll move on to the next question. Right, well, we can see there the most popular year 13, 25%, 23% year 12, 20% in year 9, which is really good because that means there's a lot of young people who are thinking about their future already. So what route are you thinking of taking after leaving school or college? We're doing a degree apprenticeship, is it a university degree? Thinking about going straight into work? Do you not know? Which is fine. If you don't know, that's good because it keeps me in a job. You're thinking of a gap year or another level of apprenticeship? I want to see answers from online as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Can still see answers coming in. We give it another 15, 20 seconds. Where's my ideal standing? We're almost there. Give it another 5 seconds. Degree apprenticeship is the highest. It's at 40% at the moment. University is 38%, which is really interesting to see. Because if we'd have done this last year, it would have been the other way around. University degree would have been a lot higher. So we have seen a swing towards degree apprenticeships, which is good. So 41% university degree, 39% degree apprenticeships, 16% don't know. Good. 2% other level apprenticeships. Nobody's thinking of a gap year. Okay. And what are you hoping to achieve by coming to this event? You're networking with brands, you're gaining work experience, you're finding an apprenticeship, and understanding internships and grad options. Tell us why you're here. Probably give it another 15 seconds. I can see lots of answers. This has been answered really quickly. Lots of people looking for work experience. So hopefully the brands are sitting here listening and going, okay, so we need to think about work experience. We're almost there. The highest so far, 45% is the gaining work experience. We have got those of you that are looking to understand the internships and grad options. Brilliant. 38% are going to network with brands. Good, because that's what we're going to do at the end. 39% are unsure. You're still trying to work out your future. And by coming to this event, you're putting yourselves a few steps ahead of others. It's a really good thing to do. Okay, so 49% is gaining work experience, 40% is networking with brands. That's good. Right, let's move on. Yeah, we can see some questions coming through already, which is really, really good. We're going to get to those towards the end. But remember what we said, keep putting the questions through as you go along so you don't forget them and you get to the Q&A like, hang on, what was that question? We did send a survey out. We asked a lot of you some information. What companies do you think have jobs in the IT sector was one of the questions, and it was interesting to see. So 99% said Google, or Google was 99%, BT at 93%, and HSBC at 86%. That means that our brands tonight have got some work to do to make sure they get the information across. It's good. You can see the others that I mentioned. And if you were to describe a job in the technology and IT industry, what adjectives would you use? Hard work, detail-oriented, exciting. Okay, good words. And other words included fun, scary, and confusing. Well, hopefully we'll take the scary and confusing out of this. And then what do you think someone does in a day working in tech and IT? I like this one. Problem solved, 94%. Try IT department you talk to. Coding, 87%. Attends meetings, 74%. Yeah. And other thoughts included works at the desk, meets people, thinks creatively, works long hours. Well, we hope not. And if you wanted to get a career in tech and IT, how would you get there? Do an apprenticeship, 57% did. Go to university, 38%. Other was 5%. Okay, that's really good to hear. So, you've had enough from me. Without further ado, we're going to hand over to the first round. It is PwC, and it is going to be Rachel and Steph from PwC. So come up, welcome.
I don't know if this. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so hi, I'm just going to introduce myself quickly. I am Rachel and I work at PwC. I actually took the university route. I left school, I went to Loughborough University and I actually studied English literature. So it seems a bit rogue for a tech event, but at PwC we don't ask for any specific degrees, we don't ask for any specific university, we just want to whoever wants to apply, so you don't have to worry if you haven't studied specific things, you can still apply. I now actually work in the recruitment team, so I'm the person who's sat there interviewing people, so I'm not too intimidating, I'm a nice interviewer. But on the screen behind me, I've got a bit about PwC and tech within PwC. I'm not going to speak too much about this because I've got Steph here, who's the expert in tech. But basically, as a company, PwC solve problems. Clients will come to us and they'll say, we need to fix this in our business, or, we need to change this, solve this. And we will then go to our experts within the business and they will solve that for us. When it comes to tech, we offer two amazing programs that could really suit you guys. So we call them our Flying Start programs or tech degree apprenticeships. And we have two different pathways for them. But ultimately you get the same outcome. It's just very dependent on what suits you. So what it actually means is you will go to university, you will gain a degree, but at the same time you will work at PwC. So you will get a fully funded degree, you won't get any student debt, don't need to take out any loans, you'll get paid while you're at university, which would have been the dream. And you also get that valuable work experience that everyone here has said they've been looking for. We keep it very separate, so you will do integrated placements. So in the sense of you will do, say, 2 terms of university, you can live that student life, and then you can do a term working at PwC. So it is very separate. It's not you're working in the day at PwC and then at night you're studying. We want you to have that student experience that so many students still want to have. The difference between these two pathways are, you might not want to go to university and actually you're more interested in the working side, and that's absolutely fine. We have a work first pathway. And what that basically means is 80% of your time you'll be working at PwC, 20% of your time you'll be doing studying for that degree. So you still get the degree, but you are more work focused. If the university is what you want to do freshers, all of that shebang, work first, no, study, which way is it around? I'm dyslexic. Study first, is it? Yeah, get there. Study first one, which is then more university based. When it comes to the actual universities, we work with specific universities, so you'd have to go through one of them, and they are all up there, the different types of universities. And also from each university, if you're like, I don't know how to pick which university, look at it in the sense of, they do slightly different degrees. So one might be computer science, one might be more data specific. So you can look at it that way, or it might be you want to live in a city. So it just gives you a few more options. You can apply to them by UCAS for the study first pathway. So you put a specific code in and that will get you through. Or for the work first pathway, you will go through PwC online, but they both have the same application process with PwC. I'm going to hand over to Steph now, who's going to talk to you a bit about her journey going forward.
Hi everybody, thank you for coming today. But unfortunately is ill, so just me. Hopefully that will be enough. So my name is Steph. I completed the tech degree apprenticeship just recently. I graduated in July and I joined back as an associate at PwC in the London office. I did my degree at the University of Edinburgh. That's not on the list anymore, but I did data science. It's very, very similar to computer science, just a bit more mathsy. My team does. So during these placements, you could opt for different lines of service. So we have risk, consulting, deals, tax, audit. They do slightly different work, but at the core, we do require the same kind of base skills. During my placements, I was based in consulting and risk. Right now, I work in risk. And within that, we have different structures. So we have business units. Right now, I work in a technology, data, and analytics business unit. So most of my work is around data migration and engineering. And that might sound boring, but it's actually quite exciting. We work a lot with data, and as you heard before, we work with clients. So coding is not all we do every day. We are a client-facing business. So we target our approach and our solutions to the clients, and we tailor them. The most important project I've worked on is the one I'm working at the moment. We have a big pharma client looking to migrate their whole system. So you may have heard of it, maybe not. I'll tell you about it anyway. Clients use something called an ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, which is a software that pretty much serves as a unique source of truth for their supply chain, human resources, manufacturing. It's basically where they store all their data. So we take that, we cleanse it, map, transform, visualize it, whatever they require us to do. So it's a very, very long process, and it's very tech savvy. So if you're interested in that, you'd be more than welcome to do something similar. We also have cyber teams. We have people who are focused on the business side. So whatever you're interested in, as long as you join us through one of the degrees, you'll find your way where you want to get to feeling like a firm with your preferences. So let's say you're more interested in the deal side or the tax side, you will pretty much have your chance to explore that and then pick where you like to mix. Well, I like working in tech. I've always been good about informatics and mathematics, so it just makes sense to do this. But just didn't want a regular job where I sit in my desk and code all day. Part of the work that we do is, as I said, client facing. So we have a lot of meetings, we have a lot of in-person engagements, and I really like that. As I said, we have some daily stand-ups, as we call them. We have working sessions. We have our own time to do whatever we are required to do, but you also get time off to do something else. So right now I'm doing cooking events, which is possible. Food and technologies that I use a lot of SQL. So if you know about that, very, very good for you. We use Alteryx, which is another data manipulation software. We use Tableau for BI quite a lot, even Python in some select projects. So if you're interested about that, again, it's a very, very good place to be in. My top tip for students is to be confident. It really, really helps in the job and in university as well. Be yourself. Don't try to identify whatever the employer wants. Just be yourself and try to see why you're fit for that job, and that's something we advise you to do. So when you research the firm, you'll find our different values, you'll find what a PhD professional should look like, but try to take away all that and transform it to you. Think about, how do I actually fit in that? Any experience that you previously had, maybe you have like a volunteering job somewhere, or maybe had a school project where you were tested on different kinds of levels. Just use whatever you can, leverage that, so to bring it into this. I look forward to getting questions from you later on, but that's basically what I did. What I think about student life, because I did the study first pathway, I also got a traditional university experience. So I got to join societies, I got to meet people right from the start. I got to know the city quite well, so have like a regular experience. And then within the summers and like last parts of my years 3 and 4, I actually got to work. So it's like best of both worlds, uni life and career. So another thing that I like is the support team. You have a personal tutor as well as your peers at uni. And when you're at work, you have career coaches, buddies, mentors. So it's a whole bunch of people that are out there to help you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I look forward to answering your questions. And
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Thank you. Now we're going to introduce Magda from Accenture, so Magda, come on. And then you've got your apprentices with you as well. So Magda has Flo, Krishna, and Eunice, but I don't think they'll come up at once. So yeah, go for it, Magda. You've got the clicker. Make sure the microphone's nice and close to the mouth as well.
Okay.
I know you don't need one, but
Yes, I am very, very loud. This is very scary and daunting. I haven't performed before. Honestly, it's such a large audience in forever. So, anyways, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Magda. I am the specialist recruiter for our apprenticeship programs here at Accenture. I actually came into Accenture as an apprentice myself as well. So I have a great wealth of knowledge, I guess, about apprenticeships, what it is like, especially in Accenture. So yeah, fun stuff. Cool. Oh, sorry. This way. Yeah. So as you can see on the board, probably a lot of you don't know who Accenture are and what we do. So I have a very brief overview of what Accenture is. So overall, we have 721,000 employees worldwide. So we are global. It's basically like the whole of Edinburgh and the surrounding cities and counties strictly work for Accenture, which is amazing because it allows you to have a huge global network. So that means that you can connect with so many people regionally and internationally and just across everywhere, which is super exciting. We do operate across 200 cities in 50 different countries. So once again, we do have international opportunities once you do join Accenture. So that could be quite appealing to some people. We do specialize in 40 different industries, which I would say is one of the things that do set Accenture apart from other companies that you'll go into. A lot of companies tend to specialize in one specific path, whereas we're lucky and fortunate enough to have such a wide breadth of expertise across. So some of those industries will look like health and public sector, so you know, your NHS, your government, etc. Things like resources, so like your sustainability, oil, gas. You also have your retail, so things like Marks and Spencers, Boots. So yeah, endless opportunities available, and that also applies to technology. So we not only kind of work in one specific tech, we do loads of things like cloud computing, AI, machine learning, blockchain. Yes, I'm not the tech guy, they are, but honestly, it's just the world's your oyster. We work with over 6,000 clients globally. I have dropped names, some of them already, but of course you can find out what our current apprentices are working on in a few moments as well. We are the #1 most global diverse company in the world 3 years run, and before that have been in the top 10. So that kind of should give you a bit of an indication of how important diversity is to us, and that we not only talk about it, we actually have proof and evidence to support those claims. And just a little bit of a bragging right, we did make 62 billion in revenue last year, which obviously signifies that we're doing quite well as a company. Oh, so you're probably still wondering, okay, but what is Accenture, right? Cool. So in essence, we're just the world's leading tech consulting company who help our clients, in essence, increase their profits by redefining business strategies and allowing them to gain a greater market share. So basically be leaders within their market, whatever industry that they're working in. And we do this by helping them offer better customer experiences and services in whatever industry it is that they're working in. And we do all of this by using technology. So very simple, a client comes to us with a problem, we find the solution by using technology. Cool, and with that being said, these are our apprenticeship opportunities on the screen here. I am just going to mainly talk about the first two, which are consulting and technology ones, but all of the info is there. So we have a consulting apprenticeship. It's basically like business studies. The title of it is a big mouthful. So it's in essence business studies, and it's with University of East London. The only requirements are 80 UCAS points, and the reason why the requirements are low, you're probably thinking, oh, it's not as high as other companies, and the reason for that is diversity. We understand that not everybody performs best at exams. It doesn't make you any less qualified, or doesn't mean that you don't have the potential to excel in a working environment. So if it was only down to Accenture, we wouldn't have any requirements at all, but the university that we're working with has that requirement, so we need to stick by it. And it's the same for our technology apprenticeship as well. So pretty simple, it's like CDD at A level. And yeah, so those are the opportunities. In terms of the assessment process, it's just standard digital CV, then you'll go into an online assessment, and then it's the assessment center, and then lastly, if you're going for the tech program, it's a technical interview. I will now introduce, well, I will let my apprentices introduce themselves that have come here with me. If they will tell me about what they do in the day, what kind of things they've studied at A level as well. So hello. Pick up.
Hi, I'm Flo. I recently finished college. I started at Accenture doing a consulting apprenticeship in September. At A level, I studied business art, which I loved, and I didn't need any prior experience. I've been taught everything that I need to know for my current project, so you don't have to worry about that.
Hi, I'm Eunice. I did maths, physics, and computer science at A level, but not that it's necessary because Accenture don't care what you've done; they care what you want to learn. I actually went to 1 year of uni and then dropped out when I got the degree apprenticeship because I'd rather, come out with a degree and not be in debt and have years of experience. Currently working with a client called Virgin Money, like Virgin Media, but the bank associated with it.
So hi, my name is Prisha. So I just did my A-levels, so completed year 13, and my A-levels are biology, chemistry, and maths. So nothing really tech related, and now I'm currently looking at technology to do intensive. So as I said, it's not really necessary to have those skills beforehand, but just to show the interest and the passion we have on tech. And currently I'm working as a tech analyst, and my client is EasyJet Holidays. So that's a travel company, and we're basically trying to improve their customer experience through using tech. So amazing.
So now, move me forward one slide, please, Magda. So over to Deutsche Bank. Fantastic. From Deutsche Bank, we've got to here and Manny. So welcome, come up. Got to click that. Go for it. Yes. Make sure you hold it nice and close to your mouse.
Okay, good point, but for this, I'm not used to speaking in public, but I don't know. So, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, so like I said, we are from Deutsche Bank. We are both apprentices in our second year. We are doing the software engineering apprenticeship. We're on a second year. I went straight into the apprenticeship literally after I finished college. Well, by the way, we didn't get the memo before this, so this is going to be quite interesting. Yeah, so my name is Tahir. I work for the Debt Capital Markets Syndicate team, which in short is like we do the loans for other banks and other big companies. For example, let's say Apple wants to raise 20 billion pounds. It would be a too big of a risk for a single bank to the company. What if they go bankrupt? That would be so much money for us. So what a syndicate essentially means is that multiple banks come together and they issue the money. Each of them gives equal amount, so they minimize the risk. So what I work on a daily basis is the platform they use to issue the money. So
cool. So hello, my name's Manny. Can you hear me well? Good. Yeah, so I'm a secondary apprentice like Tahir. I joined the bank in September last year, and I work for the RFT DevOps transformation team. Now, DevOps is a big word. It's a kind of a tech buzzword. Some people might have heard of it. What it essentially is trying to break down the silos that exist between developing teams and operations teams. So a developer team will write code, build applications, but the operations team is responsible for deploying that and making it run and work. And the challenge there is when you write new code and you introduce it to an already existing code base, there's a risk that you might make things unstable and things might crash and things might fail. And obviously this isn't good for business. So what DevOps tries to do, or DevOps mindset tries to do, is to minimize the amount of risk and improve the amount of stability there is, so that when new code is written, it can be deployed in a safe way and things run continuously as expected. Shall we describe the?
Yeah, going to walk up to the slide. Yeah. So the way we work is that first. So let me give you an overview of the apprenticeship. So at the moment we only offer a level 4, but obviously that's not limited to level 4 only. So the way it works is that once you're done with the level 4, we give you the option whether if you want to do level 6 or not. As many of you might have heard, the other companies offer level 6 only, which means that you are stuck in a three-year degree, whereas we give you the option. If you don't want to study forever, like literally after 18 months, you can go straight into full-time job and you don't have to be going to university if you don't like it. So which is another thing. And the way the application process works is that you go online, look for the apprenticeship, simply type in the Deutsche Bank apprenticeship and you will find the link. Then the first stage is an online application where you have to do some tests. Then if you successfully pass that stage, it will go into a telephone interview with one of the HR recruiters. And then if you successfully pass that stage, it will go into an assessment center where you will be working with the other people who have applied for the same scheme as you, and then from there we will pick the best one for the people who are most suitable for the role. Yeah, and that's it. It's pretty simple, to be honest. Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Right, cool.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. I have to say, it's always great to hear from apprentices, and the fact that you need to understand that the two Deutsche Bank apprentices were dropped in last minute to present that, so they were doing it for the first time, which is absolutely brilliant. But then it shows you the quality of an apprentice, because we've heard from them from all of the brands. So it shows you what they're capable of and what you are capable of and what you're going to be able to achieve and learn whilst you're on an apprenticeship as well. So if we move forward now, we're going to do the panel. So we're going to do a panel discussion Q&A. So I'm going to give my voice a rest, even though I love the sound of it. And I'm going to hand over to Chris and Izzy. And then we're going to have one representative. So we're going to have one apprentice from each brand and the HR person from each brand as well to come up on stage and take the seats. And then Chris and Izzy are going to take over the microphones. And if you've got questions in the crowd, yeah. Right.
Okay, great. And Denise, they condition for the panel or not many? I think you're going to be up on the panel first.
Okay, got that, mate.
Just want to be many. It's part of your Okay, we're going to start, I think, with Izzy, your side. So, Izzy, what do you want to see in terms of questions coming through for your side of the panel?
So obviously these guys are doing or have done an apprenticeship. So talking about the experience, if you're worried about going from school or college into employment, I think that those are really good questions to ask because it's kind of the unknown. Yeah, so definitely think about that, what you would feel like if you went into an employer like these big ones. So yeah.
Great, and this is being an apprentice herself, so I'm sure you'll have lots to come in on. If you want to go to the first question, Izzy, in a second. From my side of the room, so we've got HR experts here. So these guys are actually, well, I always say that they're in charge of like who comes into the company in that sense, from looking through CVs or if they're looking at CVs through the applications. So my side of the room, I want questions like, you know, how do I get myself in this company? What's some hints and tips? You know, where can I go after 5 years, whatever that might be. I want these guys to try and give us as much insight as possible, so you know whether you want to apply to them or not. If you do, you know how to get in as well. So sounds good to me. Izzy, do you want to kick us off with the first question?
Yeah. So a question is asked about Python, Java. Do you need to be really good at that before you start your apprenticeship?
No, so that's the easiest answer. What you do need is an enthusiasm to learn. So the language you'll be using in your team can vary. So at Deutsche Bank, some teams write their applications in Python, other teams write their applications in Java, other teams write their applications in React, and so on and so forth. Having a technical background is not necessary, but it is helpful. Most important thing you actually
Like I said, it's not a requirement to be useful. One thing to point out is that there's a lot on the
every company will have their own thing. From Accenture's perspective, we are very, very keen on supporting you guys to come into these opportunities and kind of shape the world of the corporate side of things. So last week, I think it was, we did an application clinic with Pathway, and we hosted, I think, over 20 students to kind of submit the applications into our programs, and we guided them through the first initial process, gave them all the hints and tips, answered any questions real time. And there's loads of things like that occur. In terms of more specific mentoring and body schemes, you will be able to find that, I'm pretty sure, across different companies, whatever ones you're interested in, but also using your own initiative. If you don't have LinkedIn, I definitely encourage you guys to get LinkedIn and create a profile and actually start connecting with current apprentices at these companies, or start connecting with recruiters at these companies, and start having these conversations and asking these questions. And I'm pretty sure the kind of reception that you would receive would be quite warm, and you will get the support that you need. So 100% they're available. You just need to look for them. If they're not available, make them available.
That's amazing. I just want to quickly come to Denise to say hi, because Denise has got a bit held up. Denise, you've been in charge of lots of different companies in charge of sort of HR and apprenticeship program. What would you say about the companies you've been to, and then seeing young people who turn up at 6 o'clock in their own time? So a little bit about the companies you've been at and what you think about the audience today.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, worked at a few companies. I've done apprenticeships for a couple of years now, whether that's in accountancy, whether that's in the media industry. And currently at Deutsche Bank, an investment bank now. It's really inspiring to see students here today coming in their evening. I know you want to spend time probably at home on TikTok, whatever the case may be. But it's good to see that you guys are really interested, you're passionate about what's going to, the next steps in your career and apprenticeships. So I've noticed in the last couple of years how much apprenticeships have been growing. I'm sure, and hey, you guys here on the panel would also agree. Back in the day, well, when I was younger, I am quite old, but when I was younger, apprenticeships were kind of seen as like something that you do in a mechanic or a plumber, etc. But now you can do it in any type of field, whether that's law, in tech, in banking, media industry, for example. So it's really passionate, it's really inspiring and motivating that you're here just to hear what other industries are doing. It's also a good step up so that you have that commercial awareness. It's like a big sort of buzzword, which basically means like the knowledge of what's happening in the industry, and you can put that onto your CV as well. So that's what I've known in the last couple of years.
So this question is going to go to Krisha. What is an apprenticeship and why is it an advantage from the university degree? Probably a popular one in the audience.
So just to explain our degree apprenticeship, so how it works is Mondays you'll be at university. So that's one day that's completely dedicated to your university education to get your degree. And then the rest of the 4 days, so from Tuesday to Friday, you'll be working on your client project, whatever that may be that you've been assigned to. So that's what's the apprenticeship about. What was the second part?
Why is it better than doing a degree?
Okay, so why is it better than just going to university? I'm guessing. So, I mean, if you think about it, if you're just going to university, at the end of the 3 years, you're there with almost like £60,000 debt, probably even more at this point. But if you're taking a degree apprenticeship, you have no student loan, no debt. You've probably earned a salary above 60,000 at that point. And at the end of the 3 years, the most important thing is you have 3 years of valuable experience, which you probably wouldn't have gained if you had anything else. And from that point, especially with the job market these days and everything, you're pretty much settled a permanent job, and you've got almost your career in the future sorted out. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Just about the same for PwC. I think the actual day-to-day life differs based on the degree, but what I did was go to uni as regular first 2 years, spend summer internships at PwC, and then years 3 and 4 I spent the first semester at uni and the second at work, plus like the summer in between. So you get like 100% focus on uni, 100% focus on work, depending on the time frame. As my colleague said, yes, you don't get student debt, you get a salary throughout 4-hour degrees, so you are financially independent. You also have work experience. I know some of my colleagues were struggling to study for their exams and also have to prepare different interviews. If you join the whole application process is at the beginning, right? So you go through the hurdles, you jump in the hurdles right now, and then you're guaranteed placements throughout, so you don't have to stress, and you can focus on your studies and on your work without having to, you know, year after year apply and maybe get rejected and apply again for somebody else. So you get a bit of stress out of the whole thing. You get, you do it all at the beginning, and then you just focus on what you want to do, your studies and like work. Yeah, I think that's most it. That's it.
I'd just like to add on to what both of them said. In addition to avoiding student debt and gaining a salary, you're also able to develop your own professional skills. And you're also able to improve yourself as a person much more than you ever would have been able to do at university. And I say this because I also went to university, and I found that my growth at Deutsche Bank, just spending a year there amongst other professional colleagues in a professional environment, has made me grow so much than I ever did at university.
Thank you. It's really interesting, isn't it, from what everyone's saying there, university or apprenticeship, and how you can do both via the apprenticeship and get that degree. Rachel, from PwC, I want to come to you on work experience. What work experience do you offer for 16 to 18-year-olds doing A-levels? I know PwC have got lots of different opportunities, haven't they?
We offer a virtual insight week, so it's actually 1 week where you can get insight into different types of projects. You can speak to people within the business, you can understand sort of how we work as a company, the kind of culture we have, our values. So it's a really good sort of snippet into who we are. Following on from that, you then get invited to a lot of other events. I put on events with the virtual insight week students where you can come into the office, then sort of meet us in person. The reason we do it virtual, we started it virtual during COVID, but we decided to keep it, and that is so we could offer out to as many people as possible. No one's limited on things like travel and all those kind of factors with the number of train strikes at the moment. So we do that. We also, that's our main program we offer for between 16 and 18. We also offer a 3-day work experience in first year of university. So if you decide that university is the route for you, we offer a paid 3-day work experience. We have a women in business program, and we also have a black talent in business program. And it is quite a long recruitment process, but the reason it is long is because you have a very high likelihood to then getting an internship from that, and then from the internship you get a graduate job. So we basically invest in you from the beginning, and we want to see you all the way through that. So you could guarantee a job from the first year of university. So it's definitely a really good scheme to get involved with.
Just in general, there's so many things out there, not only Accenture specific. There's something called Forage, and it's like a week work experience, virtual work experience website that collaborates with big companies, including Accenture, and there's a lot of big names out there, and it's basically for free. So if you wanted to add something onto your CV, go to Forage. It's really, really good. There's also other things like Skills to Succeed, etc. And they offer a lot of free courses for you guys to upskill yourselves and be in the best possible position to, I guess, succeed within these application processes when you get to that stage. So that's just kind of knowledge for you guys to have.
I've got a question here which probably goes for both panels in terms of what can you do to make your application stand out? So I'm going to go to the apprentices first, and then Chris probably take it to the recruiters as well. So what do you think kind of made your application stand out when you're applying to companies?
So what I said was, so as Magda just mentioned before, there's so many online courses. One I specifically, a resource was FutureLearn. There were just so many courses in FutureLearn, and cloud computing was something that I was really interested in. So I did a lot of those, and one of them was actually linked with Accenture, so I loved it. There is one that's there. And on top of that, it's not just online courses, it's also stuff that you do as part of your schoolwork. So any project, so mine was a scientific project, but I saw how I could possibly link that to the tech side. And I was able to talk about that during my, also mention it in my CV, but also talk about it during my interviews and assessment centers. So it's anything that really just to show your curiosity, your interest in the tech field. Yeah.
To add to it, it's important that you do your research, not only about their firm itself, but what they do. it's so firms have values, they have values, they have a list of skills they look for in people. We have something called the PwC professional. So if you Google that, you're gonna find 5 different main categories. I think it's core leadership, business acumen, global acumen, relationships, and technical skills, I want to say. Google it and prove me wrong. So it's important, like I said, to relate any experience you have to those that the company looks for. So for instance, they could ask you, tell me about the time when you felt I was really counting when you saw this. You use any experience you have. Could it be, it could be a school project, could be a competition, could be something to do in our free time as a hobby or volunteering. So any experience you have, try to bring it in and highlight that you have the skills to apply in a different area. Make yourself as desirable as possible. Make sure the firm knows that you did look into them. They're asking, well, what do you know about this? Just say, oh, no, you did tell. Don't have to your answer. So make sure you know what to do and you can make a case as to why you would be good for them.
Yeah, I'll bring it over to the HR panel too, starting with you and moving it down. But just in terms of your experience there, I hear things like people spend 7 seconds on a CV. I also hear that you don't need a CV sometimes in application. So I'm interested to hear from the panel regarding that. And if you can also, one top tip, whenever you interview people, you maybe interviewed a few people in your careers, what do you look for? Like what's one thing that you'd always give as a bit of advice? So do you need a CV to apply for Deutsche Bank, for example, or maybe one top tip?
Yes, we do require a CV. Everything's online, so you have to do an application form and you can attach your CV whilst you're going through the process. On the average, I think it came out that you spend about 9 seconds looking at a CV. I can just look and I can just pick out certain points. And just like what they were saying earlier, it is about having doing your research. So I can always tell when someone has just duplicated the same CV and application. So make sure it's tailored to the company you're working for. I can tell if they sent it to us, Goldman's, JP, for example, because it's the exact same wording. So if it's tailored to who that company, who's the actual company and who they are, it does stand out. Top tip about interview, I think Chris, you asked. I really put in the spot now. I think it's more about, well, we do assessment centres, and then also there's like a virtual telephone interview, for example, and I can always tell if they know their research about the company. So my top tip is whichever company that you are applying for, try and put on like a Google alert to see what's happening in the market, see if they have like a merger, if they've done like a, have a new software out, anything which is a good conversation starter, because it shows that interviewer that actually they're following that company, they have a good insight. To me, that's so impressive, because you go to many insight days, many virtual events, but if I don't think that you're really passionate or you know a little bit about that company, then I just feel like you're just doing the same companies over and over again. So that's just my tip. I would tell from when I interview anybody that's sort of in front of me.
Cool. So do we need a CV to get into Accenture? We don't need a CV. You need to complete an online digital CV for Accenture, an online profile, which can be replicated from your CV. Is it best that it is tailored to Accenture? Yes. I definitely encourage you guys to go into the Accenture website, pull out keywords. Accenture are very specific with their terminology. So we love words like collaboration and innovation. That's just like our words. Well, we don't own them, but you know what I mean. So if you kind of integrate that into your CV, we'll kind of be like, oh, yeah, okay, they know what they're talking about. Also looking at the job description, so important. If there's specific skills on the job description, right? If you feel like you have acquired those skills or you can conduct those skills, to your CV, that's clearly what we're looking for, right? So things like that are very, very helpful. In terms of my one top tip in an interview, one thing that I always look for is your engagement and your energy level. So if I can see that someone is extremely passionate and really wants the opportunity, I can genuinely see that through their body language, things like eye contact, the way they're interacting with me, even just smiling. So not everyone's like loud, crazy, bubbly, and does hand gestures like me, but even if you're just having consistent eye contact and smiling at me, I can definitely get that rather than kind of interviewing someone that's sitting like this and speaking like this. It's not great. So yeah, definitely makes a difference, I would say.
That was the top tip I was gonna use, so we'll think of anyone. I'd say it seems so simple, but show up on time. Our assessment centers are virtual, but a lot of people will leave finding the link for that interview to the last minute. And then it just sets not a great example to kick it off. Like when you enter the assessment center, if it's virtual, find the link right at the beginning. Put it in a separate document so you know where it is. Interviews are stressful enough. Take that stress away and you put that in. With these for PwC, we don't ask for either of those. We don't ask for work experience either. In that sense, and we just know that not everyone would have had the availability to it, or just they might not have been able to have it. So we don't ask any of that. We ask right at the beginning for a very simple application form, just sort of name, address, school, A-levels, or whatever qualifications. It's simply for a data perspective. As a recruiter, we don't see that information. It's just so we get the data back and then we can cater our marketing to different things. And then, well, what's the journey of CV and
Yeah, depends.
So the most rated question or the most liked question is, what kind of tech-based job can I do during my school holidays? Can you guide me? So I thought this would be a good one for the apprentices to answer in terms of any work experience, any tips, anything that you could be doing that they might know about to support you in your kind of journey into tech. So Accenture does a virtual tech taster week. Is that what it's called, Naga?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And I think it's open for all year 12 and 13 to apply. I'm pretty sure the applications are also open right now. Yeah. So I think Magda will probably be better to answer that one for more details. But definitely that's a great one to start on. I'm pretty sure if you sign up for that and get into that, you also fast track the applications for the apprenticeship, and that's just a great way to sort of get into that field. And you'll probably be able to meet and loads of people, managers and other sort of analysts that are working in the tech field right now. That's just a great way to improve your network, and you also get a feel to what it's sort of like a day-to-day look into the tech field. That's a great one. But besides that, there's also other, if you go on Springboard, I'm pretty sure there's other virtual tech-based weeks. I did do a couple of those.
As Rachel mentioned earlier, we have the virtual insight week that I know about. Is there anything else I'm missing? Yeah, so we can Google that as well. We'll get to know about the firm, we get to know about the stuff we do, so it could give you a taste of what to expect when we're doing another membership. So if you can have a go at that, we should listen. Like it's a really great experience to do it, I think.
And just to add from that, from our perspective, we have taster days, virtual insight days, virtual taster days as well, that we're always promoting on our websites, where we take you to these employers, other employers such as KPMG, Deloitte. We've got a Deloitte one next Thursday. So if you're interested in that, take a look on our website, and we're always here to support you as well at Pathway.
Great, thanks, Izzy. The next question, I want to come to the audience after this one. So think of a question, put your hand up in a second, and Max will come to you after I go back to Izzy. So 2 questions, fine. Are GCSEs equally as important to A-levels when choosing candidates for apprenticeships? Think about who might want to take this one, because I hear that 68% of employers don't actually mind what they're studying, whereas at school we always get told you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and you're not going to be successful. But actually, like my mantra would be just go and do what you enjoy, go and do what you're good at, do really well at it, build confidence, and then go on to the next thing and build momentum. I wonder what the employers have to say around that. You know, GCSEs, A-levels, are they all just as important? And are there any banana slips that we need to be aware of? Who wants to take that?
From an Accenture perspective, I feel like the whole whatever A-levels I take, it's more relevant to the degree route, because that is specific degrees require you to have studied specific things. When it actually comes to employment, it's very different. Every single kind of thing that you would have done has transferable skills. So even if you are studying a subject like English literature, and now you're a recruiter, right? I actually did performing arts, so I did singing, acting and dancing at college, and now I work for a tech firm. Yeah, right? So it all adds up, so I definitely wouldn't worry about that. In terms of your GCSEs, what you actually do does not matter. What's more maybe important at the apprenticeship degree level is maybe the grades that you have got for that, but as long as you have your maths and English, that's the most core things that are important. And then in terms of your A levels, most definitely just go with what you think you enjoy. If you do have a specific niche or interest in IT or economics or business, of course, those things will help you once you secure those apprenticeships, because you may have some background knowledge already, but they're not a necessity. And you can always do extracurricular things like go watch YouTube videos about coding or do case study projects in your spare time on top of that. So you don't even need those as a main kind of focal point. You guys have anything?
No, it's pretty much exactly the same what you said for us at Deutsche Bank. We don't look at GCSEs and be like, oh, they do art, do they do history? That's neither here or there. Maths, English, yes, you would need to pass that. I mean, especially if you know, we're a bank and you want me to get an account. So, so that is something that we do would like, we'd like you guys to have. But apart from that, no, we don't look at GCSEs like that. And exactly what I said in language, like you use the saying, if you are interested in doing like tech, then IT could be a thing for you. You're going to do your A level, but if not, again, YouTubing. If you even have a YouTube channel, to me that shows that you're actually doing something, you're trying to learn, anything like that just shows that you have that interest. So totally agree with Accenture with theirs exactly the same as Deutsche Bank. You don't necessarily look at GCSE to see exactly what subject you're studying.
It's the same with PwC.
Yeah, that's great. Next question.
So I've got one here. Is a permanent job in your company guaranteed after you complete your apprenticeship? I know that's something that a lot of people are wary about, and if you're contracted in to stay for a number of years after.
So when you see, you do get an offer after you finish your apprenticeship, either you're not contractually obliged to stay. So if you just want a degree and go on your way, welcome to do so. Of course, we want you. So I've heard of people who are able to negotiate. So for instance, I had a friend who completed his placement in the technology data and analytics placement. This is in sorts, but he wasn't very happy with it. He was not interested in cyber. So when he got his offer for technology data analytics, he was like, okay, you either need to get to cyber or I'm going to go elsewhere. So they're open negotiations. So yes, you do get a job, and maybe there's some way around the business unit where you're placed. But yeah, we don't actually force you to stay or anything.
So just after that, the way we see at Accenture is after the 3 years, we pretty much invested in you. So you come in as a student, we sponsored you a degree, we've upskilled you, so we want you to stay there. We want you to continue your journey there, and it's completely just open. So you might have come in and said, you know what, I love AI, ML, but at the end of 3 years, you could have been like, you know what, actually, I'm not really interested in that. I kind of want to do cybersecurity, or I'm into blockchain or metaverse. So we offer that opportunity for you to just move around your journey, make changes. We're just extremely flexible like that. And yes, it's a permanent job, but of course, we're not forcing you to stay afterwards, but we want you there. We've invested in you. And you're just a great addition. Yeah, that's good.
Deutsche Bank is also similar. We also have offer you a permanent job. You're not obliged to stay as well. And you also can rotate between teams in the tech department. You can pick and choose really wherever you want to go. As long as your interests align with what the other team's looking for, you're free to leave and find a new job within the bank. Actually, to touch on the previous question on what else you can do as an extracurricular activity to enhance your application, I would recommend, if you're particularly interested in coding, I would recommend 2 websites called Code Wars. One of them, the second one is LeetCode. These are sort of puzzle websites, and you can make a lot of progress and enhance your own skills doing some coding on that.
Great, okay. So we've only got about 10 minutes left of this panel. Max, I want to come to you. Does anyone want to ask a question in the audience? If you guys have participated online for staying with us. Anyone want to actually ask something on the mic? Okay, for those of you online, the microphone's going up. We're about to move across, and we're going to ask a question.
Let me just check it works. Yes, it does work. You put your hand up.
No doubt Max will ask it. Over to you.
What's the average salary
Or love it. What is the average salary? So a lot of brands sometimes aren't allowed to answer this, but it'd be great if you give us an indication or potentially let us know exactly what it is. But what I do know is really well paid, but can we get a bit more?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say, all I'm allowed to say is it's a competitive salary and it's, if you're sort of London office based, it's comfortable to live in London.
We're actually open with our salaries, as we do understand that it's something that people need to see when applying for something, because it could be a very important determining factor. So in terms of our degree apprenticeships, your starting salary is 21.5K, and year on year it does increase. So in your second year it goes to 23.65, and then in your third year it's 29K. And then obviously once you graduate, you're anywhere between your kind of mid-30s to mid-40s, and then up and up and up. Yeah.
And we're like PwC, we are not able to disclose the salary, but it's good for somebody, you know, for those of your age group, I would say. You can live in London, but yeah, we're not able to say.
Guys, we can tell you maybe through the program, okay? Like, honestly, you're paid well and you do well from it. Is it over to you? Hang on a second, we've got questions from the crowd. We've got more questions. Max is a little light on the seat these days. There we go. Over to you.
What kind of apprenticeship opportunities are there during the summer for someone going into A-levels at the Deutsche Bank or any other companies?
And just say that one more time and I'll hand over to this.
What kind of apprenticeship opportunities are available during the summer for anyone going into A-levels at Deutsche Bank or any of the other companies at Deutsche?
Yes, so we are working with pathways, so you can definitely contact Izzy or Chris, and we'll be putting on insight days for those doing their A-levels. It's not necessarily in the summer, but we will be working with them moving forward. We've actually got another program coming up, which is an apprenticeship program, but that's more investment banking side. So I can just say watch this space, because we get to launch the program in like 2 weeks. So yeah, watch this space.
So is it over to you? Do you want to go to the audience or? Right, Max, same person. Max, if you want to repeat the question, then that'll be awesome. Okay, over to you.
What do you think is ideal to study in like A-level uni for like logistics and computer science?
Who do you want it to go to?
I don't mind.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
What do you think is ideal to study in A-levels and uni?
Okay, so what can you be studying for computer science to get into computer science? Okay, well, look, does it matter? Like, I've heard rumors that you can be an accountant by studying art. I mean, where would you take it?
Yeah, so we don't ask for specific subjects. It might be it's back to what we said earlier. It's more the university that might request for specific subjects rather than as a company like PwC don't request anything. And it's true, I've recruited people going into accounting that have done history of arts, like there's all sorts, it really doesn't matter. My best advice when it comes to if you're choosing to go to university is just pick a subject you like rather than like one you think you should do, because ultimately you need to do it for 3 years and you need to enjoy it.
Okay, last question of the night now. Izzy, do you want to go from what's on the screen or we're going to Max?
Max.
Sorry.
We'll go to the audience.
What is the experience like for degree apprenticeships?
What's the experience like for degree apprenticeship? Izzy, do you want to take this one over to your side?
Yeah. So I'd say one thing that you enjoy or what you think the experience is like, one each.
Probably networking, actually, meeting you different teams, different people, and seeing what they do and how your job and their job links up all together in this massive bank.
For us, you get the best of both worlds. In my experience, you are full-time really in the time frame of full-time employee in another time. You get to network, as somebody says, you get to explore your hobbies, meet many people similar to your age.
you get skills from each, how to, follow the societies as well, so. First of all, it's really, as an employee and as a student, I think it's really the experiences you have support teams everywhere you go. We have career coaches, mentors, buddies at the firm, and you have your peers, as well as lecturers, teachers, personal tutors, depending on your name. I mean, I guess from a very social angle, especially if you're deciding between that uni and being your future, I'm sure the question is, how's the social life going to be? And all I can say is, pretty much every day after our work, there's some sort of event going on in the office. You can just meet loads of new people. Always free drinks and food. Like, what more do you want? So yeah, literally. And I would say what's even better about these sort of social events is that you're with your like-minded people. You're not just with your friends. Yes, you can also have apprentices of our age. So there's 30 of us first year, second and third year. So I'm also sort of involving myself with people of my own age, but also talking to people who are much older, almost in their 40s, 50s. So also getting that insight into an older, I don't want to call you people older, just in a real short angle. I think it's just great. Yeah. That's definitely my favorite.
Right, I'm getting something in my ear that we need one more question.
One last question. You come all the way up the back here. Let's ask it. A good one.
So after 6 months, I want to do an apprenticeship with PwC for accounting. So what can I do to get more involved with the company and a higher chance of getting an apprenticeship?
Yeah, so we do, we run virtual parks. I know there was one this afternoon. You literally can just type in on Google PwC virtual park. You can log in. It's a bit like Sims. And there'll be people in there doing skill sessions for you. You can speak to recruiters, you can speak to people within the business. We also have a YouTube channel that you can watch, which gives you a rundown of different types of jobs. We also have a podcast. I'd say there's loads of different social media pages you can go to, Instagram. I don't know if we have Facebook actually, but I know we've got an Instagram. But from like a recruitment perspective and going for the Flying Start accounting program, say, if you come to an interview and are able to say, oh, I watched a YouTube video of one of your Flying Start accountants, and I was really interested that they did this in their day, and that was something that appealed to me. That will really stand out to me as a recruiter, because it shows me that you've taken the time to actually research into us as a company, take that time to actually be interested in it, and that will go a really long way with someone that's interviewing you.
Thanks so much, Rachel. I just want to give the last word to Izzy here, just one top tip for you guys, online and in the room. We've heard from some brilliant apprentices. What always amazes me about apprentices, they've decided proactively to go straight into the job market, which means they've got something about them. They're proactive, they come to events like this, they already know where they want to go. I went to university, I was year 2 or year 3 until I started thinking about it. But what's quite exciting about you online and you in the room is that you've got it all ahead of you, and you can make your decisions now, which is pretty exciting. And the HR people that we speak to here, come and grab them afterwards. Like one thing I really regret about my childhood is that I actually go and speak to people like this and not having the confidence. But again, are you going to be someone today that goes and shakes their hand and says, I really enjoy speaking to you, write your name again, whatever it might be, or adding them on LinkedIn and start to build your network? Because that's the difference between people that do things and people that don't. And we really want to support those of you who have turned up online and turned up physically to do that. But Izzy, you've got Deutsche Bank, Accenture, PwC, you work with all of those brands. What advice would you have for young people in terms of trying to get involved with more things you've got on with them?
So the first thing Chris has just said, go up and speak to them. They're here in the room. This might be the only chance all year that you can go and speak to them, or next year. So if you're interested in PwC, Rachel's here. Obviously, this is for a tech event, but any other programs that they do as well. Come and talk to all of us at Pathway. We'll add you on all of the hot lists for these brands so that you'll receive communications about their events that they're doing and their roles are open when they're closing. And just, if you're doing the interview process, if you need any help or support, we're here for you, and just get involved in as much as you can, because it also makes you see if you do want to do it or if you don't want to do it. That was a big thing for me, was ruling out what I didn't want to do when I left school. So I went and did work experience at various places and said, okay, that's not for me, but this is, and go from there. So that would be my top tips.
Thanks, Izzy. We're about to hand over to Max, and he's got some giveaways and a bit of some prizes, I think. But let's just clap off the guests off to say thank you, everyone. And we're just looking for Max in the audience.
Yeah, so, as you can see on the screen, Chris is currently up there, but I'll be joining you in a second. But get started by signing up to Slido. You're going to have to click for new events. It's quiz time. Let's win a pair of Sony wireless headphones. Online, you can do this as well. To start scanning that QR code, you can see the code there, 4162690. So as we can see there, we've got lots of people who are joining. Lots of people are joining. I want to see lots of names on that screen. I've got Catherine with a K in the crowd helping me. She's going to be able to take me forward on the questions. Now I need you to pay attention, because when we do this quiz, you got 7 questions. To win it, you've got to be not only quick, but accurate. If you're the quickest but the least accurate, you're not going to win. That's 2 and 2, right? When you answer the question and it comes up and you're going to put your answer in, make sure you press the button that says send. Otherwise, your answer doesn't send. So I'm going to give it a few more, 10, 20 seconds for people to join. Still got people joining. Remember, this is for a pair of Sony wireless headphones. Bit more time. Matter where I'm moving. You got the quiz up. I can still see people joining, so I'm just going to give it a bit longer. We're trying to get as many in as possible. We've got more joining. 4 chaps leaving that don't need wireless headphones. Or are you still going to follow the quiz on your mobile as you leave? So, perfect. Okay, I think we're there. We've got to get on with it, right? We've got to get on with the show. So let's go to the first question. I don't know if my clicker works. It doesn't. So Catherine, you're able to take us on to the first question. It's time. Remember, it's time. How many employees does Accenture have worldwide? 710,000, 690,000, 821,000, 721,000. What is it? 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, 67% with 721, 26% with 710. What's the right answer? 721. Brilliant. So far, Mark is leading 5 seconds. That's quick, huh? But remember, it's about accuracy as well. So what year was PwC founded? 1998, 1990, 1988, 1985. All after I was founded. Three, 2, 1. Right, let's find the right answer. Well, I got a second, we don't know the right answer yet. 41% of people said 98. Right answer. Brilliant. Right, let's have a look. Who's leading the board now? Oh, Ronald, Zainal, and Agar, 17, and Danielle as well. 17 seconds. Remember, it's accuracy too. Right, next question. What is the percentage of on-the-job learning for PwC work first pathway? Were you paying attention? 60, 70, 75, or 80%? 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is it? Loads of people have said 80%. 44% have said 80%. But that about it is. Good. So let's have a look at that leaderboard. Accuracy and speed, Zainab. Right, let's go for it. Next question. What is the third stage of Deutsche Bank's application process? Is it the interview? Is it the online assessment, or is it application screening? Where are you paying attention? You've got 5 seconds left. Right, let's see what we come up with. 55% for the interview. 18% got it right, application screening. Let's see the leaderboard. Mark shot back up. Look at that, 35 seconds and 4 out of 4. Right, next one. Question number 5. How many locations in the UK do Accenture offer a degree apprenticeship? 6, 5, or 4? I don't even remember this one. Quick, 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. What do people go for? Choose a joy at the back. It's 5. 33% got it right. Let's check that leaderboard. Oh. See, look at that. Everybody's dropped one. Right, let's get to it. Next question number 6. What year was Deutsche Bank founded? 1903, 1992, 1869, or 1898? I don't think that was in the slides. 5 seconds left. All right, let's find out. Who took a lucky guess? So 40% have said 1992. Was it 1992? No, 1869. Right, let's have a look at the leaderboard. Mark's still up there, right? Got a few new names on that leaderboard. Look at that, 57 seconds, eh? Right, last question. Come on. What percentage of apprentices continue into full-time employment? 90, 85 to 80, 75%. 5 seconds left. Have a look. 43% have said 90%. Interesting. 29 said 85. What's the answer? It is 90% remain. They continue into full-time employment. So let's have a look at the leaderboard then. Well, look at that. A name that have not been anywhere near the leaderboard at all. Speed let you down. That means you won it. There is only one handbrake. Is that you? Fantastic. Okay, the hardest question was what was the third stage of Deutsche Bank's application process? And that was up on the slides as well. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. We have a winner. What we are going to do now is we're going to move on to networking in the other room. But before we do, Catherine, if you're able to, can you switch me back to my other slides? Catherine is going to sort that for a second because we've got 2 events that are coming up that we want you to think about and get you signed up to. So what 2 events we've got? We've got Virtual Insight event with PwC. You can see it on the screen, 10th of January, it's online. And then we've got our Getting to Apprenticeship, National Apprenticeship Week event. So even in London, so on the 9th of February, it's going to be a big one. We've got PwC, KPMG, and Google coming to that. So if you scan the QR codes on the side, you can get signed up. I'm going to leave that up there. You guys can sign up to it. I'm going to ask our brands and Chris and Izzy to start moving into the other room, get yourselves around the table to get yourself set up. And once you have all signed up, then we're going to go out and back into the room where you all met at the beginning. And we've got Hannah from the team, we've got Catherine as well. Izzy is also going to help you take you through the right way to the other section. So get signed up, get into the other room and start networking. Also, we've got the Instagram frame. So remember to go and take a photo of the Instagram frame, post it on Instagram as well. Don't need 3 people talking at once. Yeah. So, as everybody in the physical room is going to be moving into their room, Those of you that were online, thank you for coming along this evening. Hopefully you enjoyed the session. Get yourself signed up for that event as well. We will see you soon. Thank you.
Huh?
This one.